Hi, this is the Corner Bench with Dr. Brenda, and I am actually here to do Ain't Nothing Clean About Dirty Dishes, part 7 of my book. Okay? Hopefully you got a chance to read the other ones. I hear that some people are reading it, so I'm excited about that. Now this is part 7. Once I got into high school, my hip would hurt me periodically, and I would have to tell my mom. She took me to the doctor, and by the time anything was done, I was allowed to skip gym just in the nick of time because I was failing the class and had to double up on gym by the 10th grade. My hip was in so much pain that I believed this was going to be my life. I thought, well, me and my father would have something in common now, since my right leg was impaired and his left leg was cut off from the train running over him. I guess this is why Dad didn't visit us much. My dad and mom grew up in Hemingway, South Carolina, so he knew all of my mom's family. My mom became pregnant by a guy and had my oldest sister, Ellie. She was born down south, right before the death of my maternal grandmother. I never met her. Shortly after that, my dad and mom married and I was born. We were in New Jersey by the time I was born. I was told I was a fast child who loved string beans. My Uncle Krill always would say to me, "You will crawl up on my chest, Brenda." He would say in his deep, coarse voice, "And you was a little old thing." I was known most for walking at the age of 7 months. Unbelievable, but a few people said it, so I believe it. I don't have any memories of my childhood. I don't have many memories of my childhood, but the memories I do have will always be there. I remember a time my dad came home from work and my mom wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. Where is she? I don't know. Where was she? I didn't know. Dad was tired, and all I could remember was that he would sit me and my sisters down on the couch, one next to the other, and he would lay down with his leg across our laps so we couldn't go anywhere and he could go to sleep. He was tired from working, and all we tried to do was get up, wiggle out of that stronghold, but his legs were just too heavy. I remember seeing my mom putting a bob pin in her ear to get the itch out, and I did it too. But I was so foolish, I laid on the bob pin while it was in my ear. I thank God I can still hear. I screamed and cried, and I never did that again. My dad didn't live with us all the time. I remember my parents arguing, and my dad pulled me to the side and said to me, "Your mom has rocks in her head." A kid my age, I visualized this as best I could and remember Dad leaving. He didn't come back. My mom never told me what happened. She never talked negative about my dad leaving. Actually, she never said anything negative about my dad at all. There were times when my father would come and get me and take me to New York where he lived. I got a chance to see my grandfather when I visited my dad. As time went on, I saw Dad less and less. The next thing I remember, I overheard that my dad got run over by a train and he had to get a hole in his head to live. I laid in my bed crying, visualizing my dad's head swelling up so big that they had to put a hole in his head to make it shrink back to size or to put a hole in his head, to let it shrink back to size, or it would burst and he would die. I believe I was only 7 years old. I see myself under the covers crying as I remember that day. No daddy for years, but checks started coming in the mail. My mom seemed to have more money to take care of us now. Checks came every month, 3 checks, one with my mom's name on it, my name on it, and my sister Debbie's name on it. But I missed my dad. He lived back in South Carolina where he and my mom grew up. Eventually, my daddy was able to visit us again. By this time, though, we were living on South 10th Street in Newark, and my mother's boyfriend had already moved in. Dad and Uncle Herbert always came together. I guess because of Dad's leg, he would help Dad drive. I remember every time Daddy came, he would give us money. I always felt like he was trying to buy our love or make up for the time he didn't or couldn't spend with us. I remember time after time I would say to myself, I hope he doesn't give us any money. I thought that meant he loved me just because. I was so happy this time when he came and didn't give us kids any money. In my own mind, I felt like he really loved us because he just wanted to come to see us for no reason. And I'm going to end this 7th insight into Ain't Nothing Clean About Dirty Dishes. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to do part 8.